Here we go. Hey guys, we're gonna have an exciting shift and steer for you today. We got Brad on location at the Barrett-Jackson auction. But before we get started, quick word from our friends at Geico. With Halloween coming up, what's really scary is just seeing how much you could be saving on car insurance by switching to Geico. It's almost as scary as that homemade elf costume that your mom made you wear in junior high school. Well, no, Geico can't erase the memory of tripping down the hallway in those big, pointy, oversized shoes, but they can help you save 15% or more on car insurance. So stop waking up at night in a cold sweat, wondering what happened to that green onesie. Just switch to Geico and save. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Just go to geico.com. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Shift and Steer. I hope I said Shift and Steer before. I don't know what show this is. It could be CarCast. It could be Shift and Steer. But here we are. Brad just, I don't know, landed at Barrett-Jackson. What's going on over there, Brad?
He's stealing something.
I just landed. We stole this helicopter and came over for the show. And, because that's the only way I'd get a private helicopter.
Yeah, sure.
But, no, if either of you have ever been to Disneyland for a private party, have you? Matt, come on. Adam Carolla's probably hauled you out there, right?
I have not been to Disneyland for a private party. I've been to the Playboy Mansion. Is that the same?
I'm sleeping with the Little Mermaid.
That's true.
Well, it's kind of got that vibe because there is not a paid gate. It is buyers. So you have the consigners, you have the buyers, you have the sellers, and then you have the VIP private guests. So it is really a different vibe out here, guys. And we are walking through the staging lanes. But that doesn't mean that the cars are any less good. I have seen some really incredible cars, including one that I'm walking towards right now that is going to get Matt really excited. And the other thing, while I'm walking over there,
I've got $10. Is there anything for $10? Matt, I'll go in with you.
Yeah, you can get a cocktail.
There is. One of these. You can get one of these for $10, okay?
All right. Well, I got 11, so does that mean I have to give $1 tip?
Yeah.
I keep having to pull my mask up because masks are the rule of the day, guys. They are really trying hard to keep this safe for everybody, 6 feet. Inside, they have pods of 6 on the floor. You usually see those rows and rows that are all the bidders, but now it's pods of 6. And if you're with a group of guys, you can stay there. You can do that. They do have a
pods of 6, like whales.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, 6 chairs together, and then they do have a small skybox. I'm up there, and as long as you're with your group, and there's plexiglass between. You can take your masks off, drink your drinks, eat your food, and it's really nice. But Matt, how about this right here?
The new Mach 1. I'm a fan.
Oh, is that electric?
Look
is
at
that the electric Mach 1?
No. That's the Mach E.
Ooh, that right there. And they have one at the front gate, Matt, that is in this incredible electric blue.
Yeah.
I'll post a photo of it. It's spectacular.
Wow. I like that gray. I'm a gray fan.
Oh, yeah. So right here, I've got sitting a GT350, a Mach 1, and then as we come around here,
it's a GT500.
So you got a little bit of everything right here at the Ford booth. But if we spin around, we're still going. They're still doing, auctions tonight. And then as we spin around, we've got the staging lanes going in. It's interesting. They still have all the vendors here. Superformance is over there. We got Adams Polish, McGuire's. And you know what one of the coolest things is, guys? You don't have to wait in line to drive the Hellcats.
No, but you have to wait for them to sanitize it. You have to wait for them to sanitize in between drivers, right?
But they even let me go 2 laps because there wasn't a line. So that's
wow, that's awesome.
No, but you know what? They just had a Merc go across not that long ago, and it went for almost $60,000. So they're still pulling dollars here. There's still some bidders here. It's really going good. They're doing a great job. But if you'd never been here before, you would think, hey man, this is the coolest auction ever. If you have been here, you realize it is scaled down, but that's all for the safety of everybody that's, that's here. I'm here with some friends. We're checking things out. A buddy of mine yesterday bought 4 cars. And Matt, you'd be really proud of him. He bought a Fox body Mustang.
Nice.
And this is Mike Russo, my buddy. He bought 4 cars.
Sure.
Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
So you guys know Mike.
Yeah.
And so he's getting in here and, getting into the spirit, buying cars. But we're having a good time. Tomorrow should be huge. They have some great charity cars like always. And this damn mask keeps falling off. I don't know.
Hey, Brad,
these network guys do it.
Brad, seriously, turn it upside down, because when you're talking, the nose is going to fall. But if the nose is at your chin, it usually holds because it gives you room. Trust me.
So if I turn my phone upside down like that, it works.
No, the mask. The mask.
Oh, the mask. The mask. I didn't understand what you meant.
So the way these work is you're supposed to wear them this way, right, for the nose. But if you're talking, it pulls. So I found if you're talking, to wear the long piece down, and it gives it more room for your jaw to move up and down. Trust me, it works.
Okay, I believe you. I'm going to try that. But guys, I want to show you one other thing that's here, because I know, I'm kind of coming in here live, but let me, I got to grab my drink. I can't leave that sitting. But I want to show you. Matt told me, let's do the show at 5 o'clock tonight, because that way Brad will be like 5 or 6 drinks in. And
Clearly he is.
But you're wrong, Matt. This is only my 4th, okay? Only my 4th. But I want to show you guys this. This is how Barrett-Jackson does social distancing. Can you guys see that? Yes.
Keep one Bugatti apart is what it says. You got a Bugatti Veyron up there with the arrows up there. I saw that on
the ultimate car guy. Keep distance. One Bugatti apart. There you go.
No, I love that.
Now, is that the wheelbase apart, or nose to tail apart?
Yeah, I think it's
whatever you want. It's a Bugatti.
So, Brett, what does the bidder room look like? I know you're walking around outside where most of the vendors are, and it's pretty quiet, but is the main tent fairly full, or is it kind of a ghost town in there as well? Because you said there's some distancing going on, but, what exactly does that look like?
Well, first of all, we are used to seeing all of the bleachers inside. Because there's no spectators, there is no bleachers. Oh, here comes our boom truck right now. They're coming to help us with our production value.
Good, we need it.
So, anyways, no, we've got no spectators. So all those bleachers that we're used to seeing around are not there, right? So it does have a different atmosphere, but at the same time, we have one of these things where the bidder seats are all full, Matt. So there's a lot of guys, and I'm going to kind of sneak my head in here. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek here. We'll walk right inside the door where the auction's going on and give you a quick shot.
Yeah, Matt, I know it's going to be a little loud and a little hectic, but yeah, you're right. It is kind of emptied out a bit. But yeah, they have the Craig Jackson skybox up there, and it's interesting. Do you think this format is going to work for the big Scottsdale auction in January? Do you think this is going to work out?
Yeah, I do, because I think this is a great dress rehearsal for them. And that's really what they're doing, is a dress rehearsal. They're figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and then they will modify accordingly, because it seems like they've got it figured out. When you walk in, they take your temperature, then they give you a band that you've had your temperature.
Wait. They take your temp, like
yes,
you have to bend over?
Definitely.
No.
They did for Brad. It was weird.
Yeah. Brad's like, just me. I got in a private room. It was great.
But no, what they do is then they band you, Then you walk through security,
Oh.
and they make sure there's signs. It says wear a mask or go home. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And they have cleaning stations everywhere with hand sanitizer. They have security walking around. They have signs everywhere. I'll show you one of them right here. It says distancing. We care about your safety. And you can see right here what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So you see that they're taking care of everything.
Now, what's your thought on the amount of cars
they're really taking care of this? I'm going to walk away where I can hear a little bit better, guys. But they're making sure, and I think what's going to happen is they're not going to be able to have as many people in January if they have to stick to these standards through the gate. That's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
And that's going to be what really changes it.
So Brad, let me ask you. So in January, are we going to do a live podcast from Barrett-Jackson, but we'll all sit at a round table on Zoom?
I would love to. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
I think we should do it. I'm in.
Good.
Brad, tell me about the cars that are there. Does it feel like they've consigned a lot of cars? What's the volume of because we've been out there and there's tents and rows and rows.
There are no cars on the grass. However, we have 5 tents that are full of cars, and we're not lacking quality. I mean, we're talking about cars like these Mopars behind me, Hemi Cudas, and 426 Hemi Cornet right there. There's SS 454 Monte Carlos, and I'm going to show you one of my favorites, which is really a cool car. And this car, I would have maybe considered buying this because it went for a pretty good price. Look at that right there.
Oh yeah, look at that 914.
Ours is done, by the way. It's
cool.
running. Ours is running, by the way, Brad.
But I mean, look at those wheels. It's got a roll bar in it.
It's got a 6 in it. Does it have a 6 or an LS?
No, it's not a 6 or an LS. But it's sold. What do you guys think this might have gone for?
28.
$19,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. That's actually a good price. That's a fair price. That's a fair price.
Here's something we talked about on the show. How about a Typhoon?
I do like the Typhoons.
Nice. And that's got the two-tone. That's nice.
Quality. That's the thing. Barrett-Jackson always makes sure they get quality vehicles. This one's going up tomorrow. And it's a really cool Bronco. And that is just the first tent, guys. We go down 5 more tents, plus that ginormous tent down at the other end. What's lacking is nothing is on the grass.
Right. Okay. But this isn't the big Scottsdale event. This is a dry run for Scottsdale. This is supposed to be taking place. This is sort of a combination of what would have been Palm Beach and Vegas auctions. And they turned it into a dry run in Scottsdale, right? Because that's their home turf. And understandably, Barrett-Jackson has a very good relationship with the government out there, the city, the people that put on this event. So having an event in their hometown is a little bit easier to be flexible and change the rules and things like that and accommodate people. So I think it was a good idea for them to do this. I hope that the auction goes well. I would like to see what's going to happen in January. As much as I'd like to come out to that event, I understand that, listen, if we're not bidding or selling, it might be a little tough to do.
Yeah.
I do sort of question the success of the vendors that are there. The vendors that have typically gone, fantastic GT500 behind you right now.
That's why
Brad.
I got to be for you.
But the guys at Super Performance, friends of ours, Aaron, you were talking about your dad even commissioning a car with them.
It's almost done. It's got the motor in. It's got the driving. It's almost ready.
We go over there. We talk to those guys every year, and they said during that Scottsdale event, right out of their vendor booth, they end up selling like 5 cars every time.
Wow.
They're there. And so it's
impressive.
definitely worthwhile for them.
Yeah.
But is it now? Like you said, Superformance is there, Brad. You were over at their booth, but there's no real spectators, just bidders. So if bidders are interested in going over there and talking to them or buying a car, I'm also, not to get into the nitpicking politics of it, but I'm wondering at what cost are the vendors paying for these booths versus the big main event with 500,000 people or whatever it is over the course of a week. So somehow they got Ford to show up in Superformance and the GM Performance booth, Chevy Performance booth, they're all there. But are they all there at a discounted rate? Probably, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's interesting. I noticed too. Hey,
they may be there just to support and ensure. Let's look at it from a standpoint like SEMA, Matt. If you go to SEMA, you get your preferred booth space because you showed support. I don't know that, but that could be what we're looking at, a situation like that. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's not just come when everything's dollars
hunky-dory
in the sky, right?
Yeah,
you got to show support for when they're not. Just like we are, we're here, and we're doing this.
It says a lot for having a presence. Brad, also I noticed the cars are spaced out a little more under the tents, or is that just because they're lined up to?
You're absolutely right. They are doing that because they want to keep social distancing as much as they can. So
that makes
people
sense.
are not. Yeah, and as you can see behind me, we got a Bentley booth, we have Lincoln, and then as we come up here, we've got the Hillebank and the Superformance, and everything's happening. There's people milling around, and as you said, Matt, the guys that are here are bidders, so they're buying. And if there's a seller, he might have sold something and he's ready to buy something else. So there's still, money to be, changing hands here. So just because there's not a ton of people, a lot of those spectators come out for the fun. They're not the buyers or the sellers.
Yeah. Well, I see the booths behind you from Superformance and stuff.
Woo!
They did not scale back.
Looking good.
They got the whole crew. I'm pretty sure I saw Ashton back there, Stander as well. Lance's son, the owner of the company. So Lance and Ashton. And,
Brad, please tell everybody we said hello.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
Well, why don't we just say hello right now? Jack right there, Ashton and Doug.
Yeah, we know Ashton and Doug.
Put Doug on there.
There
My
they
man,
are.
what's happening?
Hey.
How are we? Are we close?
Man.
Are we like a week away? 2 weeks away?
Aaron wants to know where his car is.
Well, it's getting ready.
Okay.
I just got texted some new pics today.
Nice. Thank you for working with Dad. I know he gets a little impatient.
Yeah, these guys had a little bit of trailer problems coming into town, I understand.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. We were men not seeking adventure.
Yeah, right. Fantastic. Well, I hope everything works out for you guys there. The booth is great, and
good presence.
Yeah, I'm really hoping things kind of lighten up spectator wise for Scottsdale later, in January, so we can all go out there in person and do more of this stuff. So we appreciate you guys out there, and hopefully you're selling some cars.
Yeah. It's just good to be outside with cool cars, cool people like this guy, you guys. So I look forward to seeing you in person here in January.
Thanks, Doug.
Hey guys, I'm glad I could give you a little bit of what's happening over here. I wish you were both here, but
yeah, we do too.
Check it out. And on next week's show, I'll give you the lowdown, the after effects, and tell you what some of the prices went for.
Man, Eric's
right on.
Look at that.
You like that, Doug? Come on, man. Look at that.
Damn.
Think we'd throw a V8 in that?
That looks fine.
Guys,
I'm on a different budget.
What are you going to talk about on this show today?
We are going to we're going to chat a little bit about the new Land Rover Defender, which I am driving.
When we just walked by.
Hey,
right?
When the
I'll
one
be
we
right
just
down,
walked by.
Matt.
Yeah.
I'll be right down.
So we've got that as well. Are you sticking around, Brad, or are you signing off?
I'm happy to stick around if you want me to.
Yes, just find yourself a nice quiet space
I'll walk over to this booth over here where I had a table, sit down. So go ahead and start it up, and I'm going to walk over there and find a good place.
All right, sounds good. So
I do. Doug has a point. I have to stay hydrated.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah, right.
yeah, I'm sure that's working.
Thanks, Doug.
See you later, Doug.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, so
I wish I was there.
There they are right there.
looks like, hey, there's Ashton.
I wish we were there, Matt.
Yeah, it looks like it's fun, but
I miss everybody, man. And we're gonna miss them at SEMA, CES.
Hey, Matt, I got your and Aaron's new race car trailer for the track right there.
nice.
Oh yeah. There's
Look at that,
there's an easy 50 G's.
Yeah, right. I don't know how you put race cars in it. It looks like you just got TVs in it.
Yeah, pictures of race cars.
Brad's running around. It's like he's looking for the bar.
Yeah, I know. It says Manseek's Adventure. Matt, are we guesting on Manseek's Adventure here? Or
Yeah, I don't know, but the trailer looks fantastic. I don't
Yeah.
think you could put cars in it, but you could put people in it. Anyway, while Brad's getting situated, I do want to talk a little bit about this Defender, the new Defender, because
I'm excited for you, Matt. This
It
is
started-
my territory now.
oh yeah, so it started popping up at the auto shows,
Right.
and the images started really popping up online, and I think the consensus was really like, I don't know. I mean, the Land Rover brand has upscaled quite a bit, and it's an awesome Beverly Hills cruiser, but the Defender was just so kind of raw and it had great off-road capabilities. Sure, it's not the best riding vehicle. It's definitely noisy and bumpy, but there was something kind of raw about it that people love.
Oh, you're talking about the original ones.
Yeah, the original ones. So the new ones.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. So the new ones were are you going to lose some of that character with it? And you have to find a right balance. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you that I think most people that are driving them and testing them, myself included, I'm surprised. When I got into it, it's definitely a bit more utilitarian than I thought it would be. I thought it would be actually I thought it would be more luxury than it is, and it's somewhere between your Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, which by the way you can spend up to $60,000 on one of those, and
Easy.
and full Range Rover that's $120,000 or whatever it is, and the Defender fits into this nicely. First of all, there's grab rails everywhere, so it definitely has some functionality to it. It's got storage cubbies everywhere. Even up on the dash, you could put your phone, you could put knickknacks and stuff up there, maps and GPSs. And there's power ports. There's got to be 15 power ports all over this thing. USB, USB-C, a 12-volt cigarette lighter plugs, 110-volt plug. Like it
sounds like a party. So sounds like a party so far.
It's actually very cool. The interior has a great combination of hard surface.
See if he can connect again, and then have to remind him to hit.
Are you guys there? So I'm driving the new Land Rover Defender, which I know you're a big fan of, right? You're a big fan of.
You're in my wheelhouse now.
I was concerned, I think, with a lot of people was, is it going to be a cool off-road vehicle? Is it going to have some of the flavor of the original Defender? Of course, maybe not all the rattling your teeth out portion of it, but certainly the
clattering of the diesel.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Continuous slamming of the door over and over and over until it catches.
Yeah,
you want me to go on? It'll be a long show.
All of the flaws of the Defender.
It speaks in a British Indian accent anyway, so
that's a good point. Yeah, with the new owners. So I've got the Defender 110 four-door.
Cool, the four-door, five door. Matthew, when you're talking British, it's a 5-door.
Whatever, it's got 4 and then the big door in the back.
Exactly.
I understand that, of course, there's the 90, there's the two-door, and then they're going to do a 130, which is going to be this same wheelbase.
Yes.
This same wheelbase, but with larger bodywork, so you can fit a third row with a little more room in it. So that's kind of
now
cool.
Traditionally a 130 means 4 doors and a pickup bed, and the bed is not attached to the body, like it's not a unibody.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to have a third
like
row.
an SUT. I was like, they're making an SUT. No way. No.
Right. Well, which also kind of brings up the new Hummer EV, right? Which is
like that too.
So maybe we'll get into that in a minute. But I got in this Defender, and it does have this really good mix of utility and luxury. There's grab handles everywhere. There's 15 different power points. There's one up on the dash, of course, below, and all around USBs, 110 outlets. It has a good mix of like plastic and body color panels on the doors, along with soft touch material, and real sort of exposed fasteners, like throughout the interior, to give it kind of a more raw feel to it.
Which can it be hosed out and stuff? Is it?
Yeah. Well,
I
mean, I don't know that you could fully hose it out like
maybe
that.
Wiped down.
You can, but listen, they delivered it with like the all-weather rubber floor mats, right? So you can pull those out and stuff. It doesn't have like carpet floor mats in it. Maybe there's options for that kind of stuff, but at least they gave me sort of a more utility type of version of it. They also delivered it with the twin turbo V6, which is also,
I bet that thing hauls.
Yeah, it's 395 horsepower with a 48 volt electric system, and it has basically like a little 10 horsepower bump because of just like an electric supercharger, if you will. Wow. So the 0 to 60 is about 6.5 seconds, but it actually feels pretty quick, Wow. So it moves around pretty good and looks good. They kind of sent me that greenish color. With the white top and kind of a mossy green. Which is kind of nice.
I'm loving this.
and it has a similar interior. It has kind of a little bit shade or dark or green on the interior with some gray and accents and stuff. So it's actually
fabric. What's the seats? Are they leather or fabric? Or
I don't want to say leather, and it's not all fabric. I'm sure they're doing some sort of like soft touch material or some sort of like eco-friendly material or easy to clean waterproof material. It has a leatherish feel, but you can tell the difference to it. It's almost like a wetsuit, if you will. So it is kind of neat, and the sound system's great and the touchscreen is great, and they're getting there. I think the version that we have is still kind of an early production version. So I had a little issue with the radio, had to do like a hard reboot, which was easy to do. Just hold down the power button for like, 20 or 30 seconds, reboots, and then everything worked fine.
I've been watching online because they're starting to trickle out now, and there's some discussion about off-road reliability. A couple guys broke theirs already, and some people are criticizing it for being kind of a restyled Land Rover Discovery. So I'm curious if you have any feedback on either of those things. Been good so far, other than a reboot?
So far, yeah, it has been. I haven't had any issues with it. I haven't taken it off-road, but all the other books that are out there and publications that have been doing the off-road testing, when they went to the press event, we weren't able to go. They're all raving about its off-road capabilities, especially for a vehicle that has four-wheel independent suspension. There's no live axles on it as well. And it is one of the nicest combinations of on-road and off-road comfort. As a matter of fact, Motor Trend just gave it SUV of the year. They just gave it their award because of that.
So you like it better than the Jeep, maybe?
I do like it better than the Jeep. And here's the interesting thing is you're going to think it's wildly more expensive than a Jeep, and it's not. It starts in the low 50s. And you can certainly outfit it. The one I have is 72. But like a, you know, a well-equipped Rubicon with the off-road packages is like 60 grand, you know.
Oh,
so
easy. Yeah. Easy.
there's a version of this Defender that you can just say, hey, you know, I kind of want the bare necessities on the interior, but give me the off-road package. And then you can just lean on the aftermarket world for what you want on the interior or something like that. You know, it just, you know, I've got the V6 engine. I've got, you know, the nice sound system, the four-door, a fairly nice trim level. It's got a few options on it. I think the one that I have, the base price was 63, somewhere around there. Now you can get these starting in the 50s, and it could probably be the two-door. The one I have, the 110, I believe S model. I left the Monroney in the vehicle, so I don't have the full specs in front of me. But
yeah, they have different trim levels. I remember that there was one that was a little more luxurious. Then they have like the one that I liked was almost like an overlanding adventure model, and like you said, it was more stripped down. I think it even had window deletes in the back on the quarters,
right?
So you could put the other packaging, and had the drop down rack that drops down over that rear window, side window, and they have some really neat configurations. I'm loving these things.
They do, and although I think the factory and essentially the dealers can accessorize these with quite a few things, but I can imagine that the aftermarket is going to like this as well. Certainly not what we're doing with Jeeps, right? You go to SEMA, there's 500 Jeeps. You go to SEMA next year, there's going to be 3 of these, you know, if we're lucky.
You never know.
But it could be, you know, if the sales, you know, if Land Rover's rewarded with decent sales of this vehicle, then I think you're going to see all kinds of things like you're talking about, even more so, the ladders, the snorkels, the off-road packages, and different interior pieces and things like that. It's going to be kind of cool.
Look at the popularity of Land Rover anyway. I mean, I think Discoveries for the longest time they're everywhere. Obviously, it depends on where you live. So in California, northern, central, and southern, all I see are Discoveries and Range Rovers, and those little Range Rover Evokes, which I love. Those little Evokes, they're everywhere. The bottom drops out pretty quick on pricing, which makes them affordable later. But I think this thing is big news, and I think it's going to do well. I think, like you said, the aftermarket, as long as it's accommodating to it, because I think the nice thing about Jeep is that everything's so modular. It's really easy to bolt stuff on and to make stuff. I think there's a lot of exposed vehicle, especially underneath. You know, it's not all cladded. I think the Defender's pretty cladded, top and bottom. I don't know how easy it's going to be to disassemble parts and do aftermarket stuff, or kit, as the British say. You know, putting a bunch of kit. But
it doesn't seem overly complicated to me, though. It really doesn't seem overly complicated to me. It you know, I mean, certainly when you jump into the Range Rover, or you know, the like the Velar or something like that,
right, yeah.
You know, even the full size Range Rover, you really just have like a lot of leather, a really high end sound system, speakers everywhere.
Like, what are you going to do? You got to put a phone holder in the vent.
Yeah, right. Like there's
the only accessory.
There's so much there already that you also kind of feel like you don't want to touch it. Like it's going to get complicated. It's going to get fragile. This doesn't feel that way to me. This kind of feels like it's easy to kind of jump in and out, and it seems like you throw your dogs in there, and it's easy to vacuum and to clean up. And I don't know, it's a little more Jeep-esque than I thought it would be. And it is a nice balance between, let's say, Jeep Wrangler and possibly Bronco, and upmarket like Range Rover or G500, you know, or, you know, G-Wagon, Mercedes, something along the lines of that. This kind of fits in the middle. Look, if the base price was 65, 68, 70,000, and it went up from there, I don't think we would be having the same conversation. But if you can get into it at the low 50s and get this one that the one I'm driving has a lot of options on it. It's 72,000. You know, that's not you know, it's a big jump over a loaded Rubicon, but a loaded Rubicon, if it's 60,000 and you're at 72 for this, it really comes down to how much aftermarket stuff maybe you want to do to it. If you're really going to throw a lot of aftermarket, maybe you want the Jeep. But if you just want to buy it from the factory with a lot of nice bits on it, then maybe the Land Rover Defender is a way to go. But it's nice to have that option out there.
Totally. I think the only thing that's going to be a huge difference with the Jeep and the Bronco, which I'm very curious to see how it does, and the Land Rover, is that the other two can go topless. I don't think the Defender has any roof that comes off. So I think with the Jeeps and with the Broncos and with the Hummers and you know, I guess that's EV, that's a different category, but is that, you know, the ability to go topless is part of the appeal to go soft top on these other vehicles, which,
look, I would imagine if the sales support it and they move a lot of these, you could see different versions of it. You can see
that would be cool.
Them investing more money into the platform and doing topless versions and things like that. But right now, I'm even surprised they did a 2-door and a 4-door, and they want to do a 130. Like, I think that's a pretty big commitment already. In regards to Bronco, you're saying how well is Bronco going to be? I don't know, but the rumor is on the pre-orders, they did 100,000 pre-orders, which is a huge amount for a specialty vehicle like that.
That's respectable. Right? Well, good for them, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's
be in America, so you know we want to see America.
I don't even know what accent that was, but
it was anything other than American.
It was something not American. That's what it was.
It was kind of universal, you know.
But I'll tell you this: how about before we wrap things up? You've seen the teasers of the Hummer EV? This is an all electric.
Yes.
This is what I can tell you so far. If you haven't read up on it,
I love the moon landing theme and all that stuff. It's really cool, and all the crab mode and all this stuff.
There's going to be
stepping up.
There's going to be a 2-motor version, a 3-motor version, and then 3-motor with torque vectoring. Yeah. And it does have the crab walk mode on it with 4-wheel steering. The 3-motor torque vectoring version, which is their most expensive, it's going to be somewhere around $112,000. But I think they're going to start around 70-something, 79 for the 2-motor, up to 350-mile range,
but that's all the,
horsepower.
This is the limited one, though, right? The limited production Moonlander one.
Well,
it's a 3-motor. It's limited production, right? That's why it's so expensive.
I don't know what the numbers are going to be on. I don't know what the production numbers are going to be on it. It could be limited. I don't know. Although they may release a launch edition or like a first edition, and it'll come with all of that stuff. That may be limited. Exactly. But then from there, you may be able to get production 3-motor torque vectoring version, but without some of the limited badging, right? So
got it. Very cool. I've owned a couple Hummers, and I got to say, you know, other than the, you know, the image that goes with them, unfortunately, they were pretty awesome. They were,
this is if you haven't seen it already, you guys should look up the images for it. It's 4-door, it's pickup truck, it's removable top, it's all EV. It's 350-mile range. It's 1,000 horsepower. They haven't given us the torque number yet, but they said 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds or 3 seconds. I think 3 seconds.
I think it was 3.4 or something. Yeah,
pretty
impressive.
Seconds. And this thing weighs a ton.
Yeah, literally. It does all kinds of neat stuff. I mean, you know, it's really interesting to see where the EV stuff is going. I mean, obviously there's a lot of companies investing a lot of money in the technology. I don't know how much of it they're sharing between companies, but there's some neat stuff coming out and some real competitors with some new brands. You know, we have Rivian, we have a couple of the other new, you know, truck brands. I'm really curious to see how the truck market does, especially from, you know, the point of view of towing and overlanding. And I mean, are they just going to be a commuter type vehicle like EVs kind of are now, you know, a middle range, short range, or are we going to be able to do some overlanding and some hauling and really use them like trucks? Are we there yet? You know, I'm really curious. I'm really curious.
I think the answer is going to be yes. I think people are still going to be a little concerned with range and things like that, but 350 miles is a pretty healthy range for that. You know, I think I fill up
a truck. How is that going to work?
Now,
right? Second, you start hauling, you know, all that stuff.
That's the other thing is I think it's going to have a ridiculous tow capacity, 11,000 pounds.
Hey, you need your house moved? Well, no, just strap around the house. Yeah, we'll just pull the whole house.
It also has very fast charging. Of course, you need the infrastructure and the charger to do it, but you can get quite a bit of range in very little amount of charging time, because of course the thought is 350-mile range on a battery is probably further. If I go fill up the fuel tank on this Defender outside, I don't think it's 300. I think it's 310 miles. Now, of course, I can go to a gas station, fill it up in 5 minutes.
Right, anywhere.
You know, right. So that's the thing. But having that 350 range or somewhere around that is pretty respectable.
Totally. You know, I don't have any experience with electric vehicles, and I'm really starting to get interested. You know, a long way up. It's another episode tonight, and I'm kind of jonesing on that because they've kind of gotten past it.
The show.
The show with the motorcycles, and they've kind of gotten past the hurdles of getting used to the electrics now. They've been out for a couple weeks on the trail, and they're getting used to the everything. So it's like I'm building confidence as they're building confidence, and I'm going, man, maybe I should start looking into it. So I've been looking at a Fiat 500e. So, you know, going back and forth from the house to the shop, you know, maybe going down to Carson and doing some shopping and coming back. You know, they're under $5,000 now. I mean, you know,
they stopped making them. So,
you know what I mean? It's like, I'd be willing to invest. You know, I'll sell one of my bikes or something, and I'd be interested in investing in something like that. I don't know how long the battery life is going to be, you know, with 50,000 miles in it, but I'm curious. I thought, you know, maybe my first experience. I can't go out and buy a $30,000 Harley LiveWire, right? Is that
yeah.
You know, as cool as they are, you know, or some of the other options that are out there in the motorcycle world. But maybe I'll do, you know, $4,000 on a 500,
which is cool because it's probably smaller than the LiveWire Harley Davidson.
Yeah, right. It's two Harleys next to each other.
Yeah, it's barely that. It's barely that.
But my buddy that had one said, dude, I could barely get 60 miles out of that thing. And I'm like, I could do 60 miles. That's about Carson and back, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, especially on the hills and the mountains and, you know, the load.
I don't know, but if you get a chance, you should get into something to drive it. Find a buddy with like a Tesla Model 3 or a Jaguar I-Pace.
Dad has a Model S. I've driven it a couple times. It's pretty amazing, and the silence is really disturbing. Yeah, I find myself whispering in it.
Yeah, so that you've driven them. So I actually had a lot of fun in the Jaguar I-Pace. You know, it's a nice size, kind of small but nice size city SUV. It's all-wheel drive. It's got some good power. Yeah. It gets up and scoots, and you're right, it's quiet. So the sensation of speed feels even more than the actual speed, and it was fun. Yeah, I think Brad drove it too.
Tires are really noisy.
Yeah, right. It's like, why are all these other cars making so much noise? You know?
God, stupid Harleys are so loud. You're loud.
They're so loud. But it should be kind of interesting to get into those a little bit more. And look, I was already in the Mach-E, the Mustang Mach-E.
Oh, really?
And I didn't drive it. I drove it with one of the engineers. Like, he drove it, and I was around it, and it's like, it's kind of cool. And that wasn't even the GT version. It was fast, and it was kind of fun.
It's something new, man. Us car guys, I'm not leaning, but I'm starting to accept it into the outer circle.
You know, my thing is I'm all for it as long as you don't take away our other cars. So I like to have the option, you know. Now,
Matt, I can't imagine that's going to happen in our lifetime, and if not, towards the end. I mean,
well, already in
I
California,
don't know.
Gavin Newsom
No.
doesn't want any new cars sold.
That's a bunch of horse shit. Good
Yeah,
luck getting any
good
of
luck.
that system.
Good luck in 15 years if that's still going to happen. But
I'm telling you,
anyway,
I'm on the border of Nevada, and I might just trip and fall over there because
yep.
I don't know.
I'm going to stay here now.
California's turning into it.
Yeah,
We don't want to go there.
we don't want to get into that. All right,
we
we're
don't.
actually going to wrap things up. We're going to let Brad tour Barrett-Jackson and have a few more cocktails. He seemed a few into it already.
He was spirited, shall we say?
Yeah. And I don't know if any of that shit made sense that was going on, but it was fun for sure. So we appreciate that, and thanks to Brad.
He was in TV mode.
Yes, he was. He was in some kind of mode, that's for sure.
Oh man!
All right, so we're gonna wrap things up. Anything
buddy.
I'm missing? Are we missing anything?
No, where
What are
you
you
can
doing?
find
You're
us.
heading out. You're taking the BMW out again.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring some tires in. I had a wobbly wheel, so I used the spare, which was straight. Yeah, it's a race car, and yeah, I'm gonna load up this E36 and head to the track. We got a 5-mile Thunder Hill track running on Monday. So
all right. Well, we've talked about this car before, and since we're here and you're sitting there, why don't you swing the camera over and just show us this thing?
What? You mean?
There you go.
Excuse
what was
my
that
leather
sound?
It was my ass on a leather seat. Yeah, there it is. We're it's ready to go. So I put some aluminum door panels in there, and I'm trying to, instead of losing my weight, I'm trying to lose its weight.
You're like, gosh, what's easier, aluminum door panels or skipping dinner?
Got some block off plates in there, and yeah, we're ready to go. But it is a full spec. I mean, we're not screwing around here. It's it's got all the good stuff. So, like I like to say, somebody else spent a lot of money on this car.
Yeah, right.
and I managed to get it very affordably. And I have some very generous friends who rent out tracks, and basically all I do is show up with some gas money and a motel when I can't camp at the track in my Defender.
Yeah, right.
Camp out in my Defender, and yeah, it's a real nice way to get out and exercise. And I close all my rings on my phone, on my watch. My wife looks and she goes, "Wow, you've been working hard." I'm like, "Yeah, sitting in the car closing all my rings."
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a workout.
There you go. All right, well, fantastic. All right, guys, thank you so much. As always, you can go to shiftandsteer.com and catch up on all the old shows, subscribe, all the good stuff. We're on social media as well. We're not going to bore you with that this time.
Oh, yeah. You know where to find us.
Yeah, we're good. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Have a great weekend, my friend. Good to see you.
See ya.
Cheers.